All right. Let's go. Up here in the top left-hand side in the red, it's Psystorm Gaming's Disc. Disc had a really good run in WCS Winter last season. Not sure, did he make round of 16? Maybe not. Either way, he had a pretty good set of matches there. Really enjoyed some of his play. Down in the bottom right, his teammate, also representing Psystorm Gaming, it is Epic. I first started saying YOLO, and boy, ironically, and now I can't stop, I've become what I hated, says SC2 Sneaky Snake. That there is a tale we all know well. For those of you who are confused about me interacting with chat a few minutes after things are said, we're on a 3-minute delay. Why? To make sure that people don't cheat. I don't know why there was such a long delay there. I wasn't made it sound like I was building up to anything. I wasn't. But yeah, we're obviously on a 3-minute delay. Yeah, I mean, that's basically me in a nutshell, pea soup. Words like cuck have become a part of my non-ironic vocabulary because I made fun of people who used it non-ironically so often and kind of talked about how pathetic it was to use words like that. And now I'll just be walking down the street, buy a coffee off my friend Bob down the road. I'll be like, Bob, can I get a flat white? And he's like, yeah, no worries, you cuck. And I'm like, oh, I got you to say it too, because normally I call him a cuck. And now he started saying, long story short, no, seriously, this game should be good. Epic's TVZ has been pretty much the same every game. A lot of focused biomine stuff. TVP is a different matchup. In the past, he's been a real Hellion-favored player, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Hellion drop. Oh, Disc there with a very lazy probe, deciding to hide in the middle of the path across the map. Super lazy. Does end up getting sniped. Another probe scouting for a proxy here. Is that what he was doing? That's interesting. Maybe scouting for an SCV that was hiding. He's going to go across the map with that probe. Stalker's on the way. What do we think he's going to do? Is he just scouting? Disc here going Stalker first and straight into Robo. Feel like Disc is up to no good. I think we might see an early Prism Stalker pressure or even just a Prism 5-gate attack, like 3, 4, 5-gate, warp in a bunch of Zelts and Stalkers and see what you can do. This probe's going to come across the map. Oh no! Oh, pylon block! He's going to pylon block it! Oh my god! Oh guys, Epic is so mad right now. That reactor he built for the factory, the probe comes in and says, nah mate. Oh no. Don't cancel it. Let it finish. Absolutely worth letting that finish. Yeah. It's going to take forever for him to kill that. He doesn't have any fighting units out yet. Second barracks and a starport goes down. This probe comes in. It's even wasting time with this Reaper and Hellion. And Epic's whole build order just thrown off the rails. He'd love to be building Hellions 2 at a time right now. Instead, he can't. And look at that. He doesn't even want to shoot the pylon. He's like, I got to go across the map and make sure you're not pressuring me with these units. So a really rough opening here for Epic and a fantastic probe there. I think Disc knew that he likes to open up with that reactor. Feels like he knows his teammate well and does very, very good there. Hashtag salad is green. Oh god, what have I started? All right, guys. Hellion and a Reaper coming in here. Whoa, they're going to get it. Nice sniping there. Does see the Robo, sees the Twilight, the Robotic Support Bay as well. Says, okay, it's probably just very defensive 2-base Colossus. Could be a scary push off that as well, but he's already going into a Raven, so he's well set up for it. If that Reaper gets out, that would be crazy. Damn. These Reapers are crazy. They're flying off the shelf. They're selling themselves. And then buying themselves back. They're injecting drugs into their arm and then magically healing their hit points. Holy crap. Give me a vial of that stuff, please. Observer's going to come in, but I think that Raven's going to come out and the Cyclone will probably kill it. Hopefully he goes around the very back. I think he knows there's a good chance a Raven comes out. So yeah, Disc being very careful. I think Epic might have seen it though. You can see he's moving his units over here. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. One little pervy boy gets shot down. Oh no. Terrans don't like it when you watch them. You should probably tell them before you sneak in their back door and start trying to set up webcams in their shower. Which is basically what every observer's job is in life. We've got a Speed Prism Disruptor drop on the way. Very nice. What else is going to happen here? I don't know, guys. 2, 3 barracks, starport. I mean, you can do a pretty powerful 2-base push off this. I feel like Epic's just going to do really generic play. He's a pretty generic player, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's good because he macros, but I think he'll just move out with a push, drop a third on location, and start multi-pronging with just bio tank, maybe dropping in the back of the main while trying to siege the front. I'm not sure how much he'll commit to the frontal push. That's one of the big questions. And at this point, seeing Stalker Sentry, he's going to come in. I mean, he already knows that it's robotic support base, so you're pretty sure it's going to be Colossus play. And you see a Forge and a Twilight, and you really know exactly what you're up against. But, oh, sorry guys, 5 SCVs goes down to the first Disruptor shot. That's great. Really good pickup there for the Protoss player. Because you're playing a high tech style here as Disc, you'll notice there's not a lot of that economic advantage that Terran players always complain about, right? They always say Chrono Boost, the Protoss can take a third really early, they can Chrono Boost, they can end up way ahead. In this case, Disc has invested in so many high tech units, that's not the case. But is able to do harassment damage and has got already a Colossus out, already range halfway done, already a Disruptor Speed Prism on the map. So there's a ton of tools on the map that can, really allow him to be victorious. The problem, of course, is that Observer only now sees this coming. Should have curved to the right, but I don't think it would have saved it either way. The Speed Prism's trying to come back. You got to go out and engage this as Disc. 4 Adepts, 2 Sentries, and about 7 Stalkers. It's a good army. I think he actually needs to fight. As Disc, I don't think you should be running away from this. I think you actually should be fighting. Even though it's a scary looking army, I think you've got to engage that further out because now he's allowed the tanks to siege up on his ramp. I think he needed to force the spell out earlier. He's going to try to come with the flanking Disruptor drop. Biding time is definitely a very good move here from Disc. Oh, he's going pretty deep on that. And he's going to hit that siege tank. There we go. Does take it out. Oh, Colossus gets shut down. Warp Prism saves it, though, for now. Oh, a lot of this bio stimming forward, though, and he just doesn't have enough gateways. Looks like he's going to get overwhelmed. Really nice push for Epic. As I said, 3rd CC on location behind this push. He's got the combat shields. He's got the Marauders. He's still got a little bit of Raven energy usage. And he uses it on the Warp Prism. Oh, no, he did use it on the Colossi, but the Colossi picked up the Warp Prism. Both Colossi go down. The Prism goes down. Disc gets slapped. Okay, so for this defense to work, I think as Disc, right after that second shot goes down, you need to immediately get out there and check there's no frontal push. So you need this, preferably, to come out and land a shot on this as it's coming across the map. I also think he actually needed to move out into the map and engage it. Engage it on the map, force the stim further out there. Because I think the tanks kind of need to siege up to be useful, and there's just not that much firepower. 2 Marauders, 12 Marines. It's actually not that scary an army. Yeah, Shields is done. Stim is done, or Shields is almost done. Shields actually isn't done right now, so you could do a lot of damage to these Marines, but I think you've actually just got to have faith in trading out on the map. If you can focus fire the Raven with your Stalkers, that's great. Like, that was a nice little pre-split from Epic, but I think even here, start fighting. Start fighting. Pick away at it. Just drop a Guardian Shield and engage straight away, and then come in with that flanking Disruptor shot towards the tail end of the fight. I think he had the numbers. If he just focused on warping in, maybe should have got 1 or 2 more gateways a little bit earlier. Not 100% sure, but we'll see how the next game goes. Game 1 there goes to Epic. Clean, clear, decisive fashion. A great multitasker and a great executor of just, dictating builds. That's what he does, man. Oh, Disc actually invited me to this game. I just realized previously. He was like, hey, do you want to cast me an Epic? And I was already telling Epic, you invite me the moment that game's up. So this is a qualifying match, guys. Winner of this goes through to the upper bracket finals, which means you're qualified, so that doesn't even get played out. The way it works is the top 4 go through, so it should be really cool. But yeah, Epic just is when I say he's generic, I mean he just does very standard plays, but he's just got great mechanics. And that's, a lot of Terran play, and that's a lot of how you get good with Terran is you figure out how to use your units tactically in the situations off the very consistent openings. A lot of your decision making is about how you use the things that you always have, but you very rarely actually adjust your build orders in reaction to your opponent. A lot of Terran is choosing your maps beforehand, right? Maru is obviously a god at Terran. He's great at adjusting on the fly, but he can't seem to perform in weekend tournaments, especially outside of Korea. But any weekend tournament, he seems to not do that well in. So I think there's a big part there where Maru is able to map out exactly what he's going to do on each map. And there's almost you just randomize it a little bit so it's unpredictable, and you just choose things that happen to be good for each map and its strengths. And there's not as much adjusting on the fly as you might have with a Zerg or a Protoss, who's much more trying to adapt you around their opponent during the match. For the most part, obviously it varies. So Epic here, I feel like, is a player who's just worked on his fundamental macro, micro, his multitasking. He's very fast. And the creative problem-solving decision-making is much more about hopping all around and all that sort of stuff. Oh, poor cutie. Slashitopia has linked his stream in the chat, and he said, oh, here's my stream link ready. And I think he was just kind of saying, hey, yeah, oh, just in case you guys wanted to know, this is like where my stream is, like, right? Bexy goes, ... Disc says, oh, why are you linking this? Eric says, ... Just says, laugh my ass off. Eric's like, random advertisement, lol. Zombie Grub says, do you do that in every lobby? Everybody's laughing. Slashitopia's like, oh, I'm bad guy. My bad, guys. I didn't know the etiquette. I'm sorry. I just thought you might want to know where I'm streaming it. That's all. Oh. Yeah. F to pay respects. Poor Slashitopia. Just wanted to stream some WCS qualifiers and just had both the players and all of the casters gang up on them. I sat out of it. I thought they were already had it covered. It's funny because there's like 7 different streamers casting this match, so fair enough. All right, guys, up here in the top right-hand side in the red, representing the Terran race and Sly-Storm Gaming, it's Epic. That was a very weird intro. Over here on the left, in the blue, also on Sly-Storm, it's Disc. You know, if Disc really gets a little bit of momentum going and is able to just... I feel like there was just a little bit too loose in the last play, you know? I feel like there's a big difference between when a firm disc shows up and when the disc is a bit loose. Like when sometimes you're ready to go, you're excited, you want to watch some StarCraft, and then you see a bit of a loose disc and you go, it makes me think you're not as excited to play the game. You know, you think, is disc even that into this? And you're not so sure if then you're into it, you get a bit self-conscious, are you not enough of an audience for disc? So I want to see a real firm disc in this match, and I want to see if he can, you know, really give Epic a firm disking. Potentially even take him to Disc Town. I think these could all be fantastic things, and definitely want to see just a little bit of a tighter, firmer game than that last one from Disc. So Epic is going to be opening up with an SCV Scout once again. It is a gas first, straight into the Reaper. Wants to do the CC on the low ground. Surprised Disc hasn't opened up with a proxy gate in either of these games. Normally likes to mix in those sort of plays. Bit of a weird opening in the last game from Disc, though, wasn't it? No Zealot or anything like that either this game. Just going to hide his probe, and he's a little bit weird with where he hit his probe in that last game, wasn't he? Okay, he wants to check the command center, but that Reaper's almost out. You gotta be real careful. You gotta go hide, dude. You can actually go hide there, and as long as the SCV doesn't rotate to that very top left position, they won't see you. And the Reaper will probably check here, but he's not going to check there, right? So that would have actually been a nice hiding spot. But this plot, Disc's a little bit predictable with his hiding spots today. Reaper finds it, and looks... I mean, we're not sure, but it looks like a loose Disc. So I'm hoping, come on, tighten it up, firm it up. Think decisive thoughts. I want Disc to be thinking about asserting his dominance right now. An Adept is out. Stalker's on the way. 4 probes on gas. 4 probes on gas. Whee! This guy just having a smoke. Okay, one of the probes got taken off. The 4 probes on gas were all taken. They were all smoking a little spliff in between. Smoking a little bit. Having a little bit of a smoker. What do we got? Second barracks nice and early this game. Third barracks pre-starport. Epic's just going to do a 2-base all-in this game. Nice. Nice. So the way this works is you're not prioritizing those starport units. You just want to get stim, shields, bio units up nice and quick. We've already got a Stalker here. And, ooh. That Stalker's going to take him to Disc Town. Doesn't see poop. It is going to be a Blink opening. Blink's really good against 2-base timing, so I actually think this build matchup is kind of fantastic for Disc. Now, Disc should fight with that Adept and then Shade home. I actually would fight and then Shade. I think he could have... Like, he would take a lot of damage, but I think he'd get out of there and he'd severely damage one of those Hellions. But he's got a wall off, so yeah, just keep the unit alive. Play it safe. Good way to do it. Do not dilly-dally, my friend. Do not dilly-dally. Do not dilly-dally! God damn it, Disc! He had no spotting unit out front. He had like half a second to react there. Hellions are a fast unit. That was way too ambitious from Disc. Thankfully, he's been very good at pulling his probes. He's only going to lose 2. Okay. Yeah, he'd already lost 1 or 2 on the map. Now he puts the shield battery down ahead of time. Bit of a mistake there, dude. A little bit of a mistake, unfortunately. Why does the Cyclone lock-on ability not autocast versus buildings, says Psycho? Because they're not a threat at all, so... It's just one of those things. Use rapid fire, and if you go mass Cyclone, spam it on buildings. No one wants it to autocast on buildings. Because that'd be really annoying when you attack move and they all lock onto random hatcheries and stuff. Yeah. Random question that I'm taking a moment to answer. No worries. Yeah, I would be annoyed by it. You'll see pros, if they go mass Cyclone, they just use rapid fire on lock-on and they'll just hold it down and just spam like 20 lock-ons on a command center and kill it in a second and run away if they want to. Probe comes in. It's like, hey, you have 1 Marine in that bunker. You can't even kill me. That Marine's like, yes, I can. I'm a big gun Marine. Like, what? You're what? I'm a big gun Marine. What? Dude, what are you trying? Look how big my gun is. I'm like, okay, buddy. Calm down. There's a bunker in the main base. That's a bit weird.
Research complete.
I guess Blink is scary on this map, but you know what's funny? It's purely defensive Blink. Disc is worried about Hellion drops and that sort of stuff. Epic's like, I just got to make sure I don't take damage from this Blink attack, and is actually maybe even thinking about a 3rd command center. Are you going to go Raven? Okay, no, okay, that swap off makes a lot more sense. I'm like, this is way too late to go Raven. That's crazy. You want to build a Raven early if you go for it, so you can build up energy to shut down the Colossus. Now, going standard Blinkstalker Colossus, I see a lot of up-and-coming, really good Protoss players do this. In Korea, Hurricane, a guy who's really, really good, loves to do this build. I think this is a great way to play PvT. I think if you guys want to get good at PvT, 2-base Colossus or 2-base Blink into Colossus, really great way of playing StarCraft. I think doing it here on Automaton, I'm trying to be not as harsh as I normally am. You guys know I'm pretty unfiltered on my stream with just criticizing players. I think it's crap. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. You've got this wide open main. Your thirds all the way down here. It's just, there's too much space to get dropped, to get liberated. I feel like it's really awkward to play this sort of game. Whereas I feel like something where you put pressure on your opponent, you know, can be really good. I think Phoenix styles can be pretty awesome here. But it can get a little bit awkward on this big map because it's so hard to get enough vision. Like, we see this observer going up here to try and see stuff. A Doom Drop could still come in there and you wouldn't even see it. You need like 4 observers to cover this main base. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you can still play this style and it's not bad. I just feel like it's not as strong as a lot of styles out there. Now, we've only got 1 medevac with this push. Bit of a... I kind of want to call this designated pressure, but I mean, the army of Disc looks kind of small and poopy as well. Where is Disc's vision right now? There's only 2 observers on the map. One of them's in the back of the main because he's afraid of Ravens. He has no idea about these units out here. Oh no. Oh, the shield batteries are going to get stopped just before they're ready. Boosts the tank in. The Marines and the Marauders get on top of those stalkers. This is a bad angle for Disc. Oh no. Pylon's going to go down. He's going to get supply blocked. 3 pylons on the front go down. That's it. Disc has to hold it with just this. Force fields. Good force fields, but oh, he's 1 force field short, man. Oh, if you could just get a few more Zealots warped in. Maybe. But those Marauders take down 1 Colossus. The probes are falling. You can see Epic trying to keep his units split. But you know what? Oof, tough. Tough titties. Nice Widowmine shot. Epic here, you know what? Maybe Disc can hang on and make a game out of this. He's still up at 60 workers, but, oh, I mean, like a single lib hitting the main or a single drop hitting the main would totally ruin him. The Widow Mines are recycling. We've talked about recycling Widow Mines being the bane of the non-Terran players. Like, if that happens, you're usually in pretty big trouble. And it looks like, for now, Epic is going to pull back. What's he got at home? +1 armor starts up. He's still only on 3 barracks. 4th and 5th barracks are finishing. 3rd base is looking pretty nicely saturated. This is where the multi-prong starts, and this is where you as the Protoss, who has the bare bones of an army, you cannot defend both locations at once. So the rally's going to come down here, but the Observer is not seeing that rotation, and There is enough energy for a recall. Does he use it? No, he's just going to split a bunch of Stalkers up there. They need to micro very well. Colossus pops out. Very good timing on that Colossus. And a few Zealots on the front is going to help out here. So, hey, oh. Good D. Good D. Disc gives him the big firm defense there and says no. Epic says, God damn, you're actually holding on. I really thought that push started really well for me and I could bowl you over, but second starport now starting up on a reactor. He's going to have to build maybe 1 or 2 more medevacs and then from there swap into Viking play. He might actually just go straight into Viking. 6th and 7th barracks are down. Epic's got a good economy. Still got a rando Widow Mine in the main, by the way. Rando Calrissian the 47th. Slowly pops his little beeper out. Oh! That Stalker, Disc remembered he was there. Oh! He actually was looking somewhere else for a moment. He looked away, knowing he had a second to go do something else. I think it was the Robo he plonked down. And then he came back, blinked it away at the very last second. Marauders on the low ground. Going to be a little bit dickish. Just trying to pick and peck away. 4th CC on the way nice and early. And it's actually mass lib. So, okay, Epic's going to do a Doom Drop style. So the way this works is you kind of just say, cool, we'll just boost our army into your main and siege up all our libs here. Or we'll distract you in the main, pull your army out of position, and run forward and siege on the third. It's very much about... You have to kind of get to their side and siege up when they're out of position. Because you don't have range libs, because your opponent's got Stalkers and Colossus, you kind of need to just play the movement game. And if you can siege up in a nice position on top of a base and force the Protoss to attack into you, Epic's army is amazing. But if you kind of have to move through their army, you can just get torn to shreds. So this is really movement focused, and I don't really like Epic pushing with his whole army on one side. I feel like it's a little bit... barely misses the army there. The army's going to come forward. Ooh, a blink forward could have actually snatched a lib there. Actually, I think... Oh, good blink, good blink. He takes out 1 lib, takes out a second. Good stim forward. Good stim forward. But there's not a lot of medevac healing. More libs coming forward. Okay, I think Disc's just going to go for it. Oh, no, I think he really needed to commit there. Oh, my God, he's trying to buy time. Disc. I feel like if Disc can just headbutt through here, he'll be fine. It's only 2 libs right now, but if like that becomes 4 or 5 libs, things become bad. Okay. Nicely done. Stalkers are going to take out the libs. Zealots and Colossi go forward. We've got a double drop heading towards the main base at the same time. Sorry, guys. That was pretty bad camera work. I thought that was a little bit closer. Stalkers are there to intercept. Nicely done. Disc losing a few Stalkers, though, from the low ground. Oh, that's expensive. 5 or 6 Stalkers do go down. But he can blink up there. Yeah, he can blink up. Oh, a little bit slow to respond is Disc. So the drop does escape, but he's got a 4th. Getting finished. 4th base almost finished here for Epic as well. Yeah, I don't like the way Epic tried to push through the front there. I really feel you need to distract with a drop somewhere else. You can't hammer your way through the front unless you're relying on the Protoss having poor control. But Disc focused down the Liberators very well, and I think if a Disc should be out on the map right now. I think there's no reason for Disc to keep sitting at home like this. I really feel you look at this army. This is a bruised pack of bio. You've got a good charge lot count. 1 more round of charge lots would make you a lot happier, of course. Because they are the meat. They are the light armored unit that take no bonus damage from the Marauders. Marauders only do half the damage to Zealots, whereas and Sentries, whereas the Stalkers, the Colossus, even Immortals all take double damage from the Marauders. And it is a mostly Marauder force because Marauders are not quite immune, but they don't take as much splash damage. Great blink forward. Beautiful micro there by Disc. Beautiful micro there by Disc. And he says, let's just go for it, sure. Now, Zealots pull back there. And I don't know if that was quite necessary. His Stalkers did go a little bit deep. Needs to spend all of his money just rehashing Stalkers. His Zealots went in for a counterattack. But still very low in the workers killed on both sides. We've got Storm now finished. I'd like to see maybe a few more Sentries. But actually at this point, Sentries probably aren't nearly as important. He's got Psystorm. Ghosts are nowhere on the field. Epic has a great economy. But he's still on this kind of lowly upgraded bio. It's 2-1 for the Protoss. Soon to be 3-1 in about a minute's time, and 2 minutes after that, it'll be 3-2. I guess at that same time, 2-2 won't be too far behind. Oh! Loses a High Templar. Picks off a little pack of units, though. Uh-oh, he's going to lose another one. Epic here. Getting another High Templar. Very well done. And you got to warp in more. You've invested in Storm here as Disc. I'd love to see more Zealot counterattacks. I'd love to see DT tech, Storm. More Observers would also be incredible. Right now, there are 2 Robos up. So we've got both Immortals and a Warp Prism building at the same time. Oh, man, look at this. Yeah, he gets all the storm. Oh, no, Disc's army is in disarray. That's not a word, Jared. It's in disarray right now. Loses a Colossus, does snap a few of the Vikings, but he's lost a lot of valuable units there. He's got Storm coming up in a few seconds. Way too many Disc jokes this game. Base on the bottom side as well. Observers there. 2-2's almost finished. Ghosts are now on the way, as is Cloak. I mean, it's just the bio is still so wounded. I would love to see Epic running around with a squad of units. Right now, Disc cannot afford to replace these Stalkers. Imagine if a triple drop ran down here, sniped this Nexus, and ran off, and just kind of hangs out in the dead space. I want to see more of that mobility and map control assertion from Epic. I feel like the moment he sits back and lets his opponent kind of have control, then he's in trouble. Now, you see, he's doing it now, but he doesn't have the medevacs with it, and that's... I feel like you want to create a permanent problem. I feel like you don't want to just create a short-term problem. But look at this. Disc, as soon as he's got this map control, he's going to see this coming, and he's going to go, oh, okay. He's going to have plenty of time to react. Meanwhile, Command Center. Ooh, good find there. Epic snatches the Prism. Meanwhile, these Stalkers desperately trying to get back there. Disc's going to come in and clean this up. Where's the medevacs? Once it was spotted, he should have immediately gone and hidden on the edge of the map, guys. I'm being critical because I love bio-lib multi-prong. And if you watch Uthermal or Maru do this, when they play this double reactor style, it's a thing of beauty the way they pull their opponents out of position and open up siege opportunities for themselves. I feel like now, obviously, he's swapped into Vikings. He's not really lib-focused anymore. It's going to be all about the EMPs. Now, I get it. Let's focus on the front. But there's even Disruptors in the mix. Ooh, okay, guys. We've got a butt-ton of splash damage in this army from Disc. Not that many Stalkers. It's 15. Oh, the EMPs. Big EMPs land. Still a lot of Storm in the back end of that army. Nice blink forward from the Stalkers, but where's the EMPs? Ooh, dodges the EMP nicely. I really think Disc desperately needs more Stalkers. High Templar behind this. I don't know if there's a backup of High Templars. There's one there. I'm looking around. There's only one backup High Templar. These High Templar are a little bit clumped. I mean, a Zealot counter would do so much right now as well. Nicely done. The Marauders continually sniping off these lone High Templar. Oh, the Vikings are going to take a Colossi out. No, a couple of nice EMPs. The Disruptor lands on the own army. Disc with the friendly fire. Oh, no. The back left-hand flank of Epic's army had to pull back. And his right-hand flank pulled away as well. But Disc actually pursued into his own Disruptor shot. The Zealots, though, they've still got the upgrades, guys. 3-2 to just 2-2. The Archons and Stalkers are there landing the Vikings. That was a little bit ambitious. Epic needed to actually withdraw from that fight now. Suddenly, he's actually handing a decent fight there to Disc. Takes out the tech units, overextends on the overly wounded bio, and does end up taking a lot of damage, but 3-3 is almost done. We've got a Fleet Beacon on the way. DT Shrine on the way. Both players trying to build up to that next stage, and this map gets very scary as you get more and more spread out here. Both players vying for control over this map. A couple of Disruptors definitely make things very complicated for Epic, but you really want to wait until he commits to a fight before you throw those out. The whole point of the Disruptors is they kind of sit behind everything else, and once your opponent commits, that's when you throw a ball or two out, and you make sure you do really well. It was Discarray before. I know, Twitch chat. I know I dropped the ball on that one. What can I say? Meanwhile, Marauders, Marines, Vikings, let's go. It's good Zealot count. +3 armors. That's actually a really big upgrade when that kicks in, because it's about to be better upgrades for the Terran for a little while. +2 air weapons is in the way. Still mostly Bio Viking. So I feel like Epic definitely could have expanded to another base by this point. Maybe broken down those rocks and done the gold. I would love to see nukes at this point. I would love to see, rather than sensor towers and like +2 ship weapons, I'd be more focused on getting 4 Ghost Academies. Start to queue up some nuke harass around this map. You know, your opponent's not going to have enough detection everywhere to deal with it. They're going to struggle with it. Oh, Disc throws away the Oracle. Oracle's very important to spot for the Tempests, which are now coming out. 2 Stargates in the back, pumping those. +1 air weapons on the Cybernetics core over here on the left-hand side. Still Zealots spotting all over the map. Disc has really set up this circle of vision to make sure he's not surprised. And I keep talking about it, but imagine a couple of medevacs worth of Marines and Marauders just moving around with 2 or 3 medevacs and just clearing up this vision. Disc wouldn't know where to defend. He wouldn't know where to be. And I think even though the Terran army is definitely a bit more fragile, harder to control, you take away a Protoss' information and watch him take terrible fight after terrible fight. If you can deny the vision, it can make a really big difference. Plasma Shields is on the way. We've got +2 ship weapons. Oof. I really feel like Epic's getting to the point, especially with his gold going down. Ooh, DT is going to be a pain. That's nice. It's like, no. 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 That's actually the sound a DT makes every time it swipes. No. Okay, another Oracle flies in. Does get the tag off, but it does go down. How many Tempests we got in here? Just 2, right? Yeah, just 2 Tempests. That's not a lot, but there's no libs, so you don't really need any more, right? Oh, good feedback. Stormy? Storm would have been nice on those medevacs a little earlier.
Oh my god.
Okay. How many High Templar we got with energy in here? Where's the Storm? Okay, 1 Storm lands on the right-hand side. You gotta keep this. This Storm is everything. Oh, flanking Storms from the high ground on the right. Big Storms on that right flank. Balls do end up firing. Kills his own Archon again. But the ground fight is ravaged by those flanking Storms from the high ground. Epic here with mass medevac, but nothing on the ground. Not to mention the medevacs heavily wounded. The Vikings going down. That Archon does get shot down. Good micro here by Epic, but I mean, being stuck on Bio Viking this late in the game, unfortunately not able to keep up here with Disc. Oof. And he does look like he's getting pushed back now. Would have loved to see Epic pull out some of what Maru showed yesterday against Classic on King's Cove. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you who watch the GSL finals, I'm talking use a few tanks, use a bunch of libs, sit behind them, poke forward with EMPs, start thinking about nuking, start swapping into battle cruisers. I want to see that sort of stuff. Good disruptor shot, takes out a Marauder or 2, blink forward, takes out some more. Yet another disruptor Nova saying, get out of here. Just keeping that Terran at arm's length. The DT still denying that 5th, and no reason to overcommit as Disc, but since you're maxed out and you're on that side of the map, why not just go, yeah, rotate around the left. Just don't split your army. Pick off that command center and can look really good. Behind this, more Tempests, more Disruptors. I think once you've gotten the edge like this, Disruptor, Stalkers, Tempest is like such a good composition, especially with a few Colossi in the mix. Keep forcing Vikings out of your opponent. Just makes your opponent invest in the trash bag unit, the Viking. No one really wants to be building Vikings, right? Like I see some gods of Terran use like Vikings at this stage really well. When I'm playing this, I feel like what I think Epic's feeling right now is like, this unit doesn't do anything, man. Can you fight into my concave? And the Protoss is like, no. And the Protoss will never attack into your pre-spread. So every time you think you can force them to fight, you end up chasing a little bit too far. A Storm lands on the Vikings and they're all on half hit points and the Stalkers start finishing them off way too easily. Guys, this is about to be brutal. Another Oracle does go down, but a good blink pursuit. And you can see that Disrupt is hungry. The High Templar are hungry. Where are the ghosts? There's none. It's just Marine Marauder Viking. This is a desperate fight for Epic. Down 20 supply, down in upgrades with the inferior composition. An ambitious Storm. Another one lands. That Bio heavily bruised. It's battered. The Vikings coming forward. One Ghosty Boy lands a very nice EMP, but the Storm anticipates those Vikings coming forward. Disruptors on the top side. Most of the Bio spreads. Epic actually has pulled off some Jean-Claude Van Damme style splits today. Like his ability to just do the splits has been incredible. Over and over again on the fly, there'll be like so much splash damage and he's like split in 7 directions. And you're like, oh, you are the most flexible Terran of them all. But it's not enough in that game. Disc takes him out. GG, well played. I do think Epic missed a chance in the mid game to be a little bit more wily, to clear up map vision, to create more, to put Disc in the dark a little bit more, and I think that would have made massive difference in that. It's tied up 1-1. Disc tying it up. Him and Epic ready to go head to head in this final match to see who will qualify for WCS America Challenger League. Thank you very much, Smoking, with the 11-month resub. Appreciate that, dude. I realized I think I left my alerts on, didn't I? I turned them on for between the game, and then I left them on like an adult. Chevy before, Smoking. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate those going above and beyond to support. Thank you very much. We'll be opening that next game in just one moment. Did I already play these bases? But he's out of money. So he drops the scan there, gets a DT. There's 2 DT frolics. Shout out in chat if you enjoy a good frolic. Bonus points if there's butterflies around when you do it. I'm usually pretty gay and happy. Yeah, it's pretty great. I wouldn't mind. I mean, if I wanted to bang dudes, I'd do that as well. I normally am not overcome by the urge to do it, but if I wanted to, I would. I'd be okay with that as well, man. What else is going on in chat? Let's scroll up, see if we missed any questions. Doesn't look like too many. Good stuff. Frolic is dog food in Austria? Really? That's hilarious, dude. I want to go to Austria and get some Frolic. If you come to an event and we get to meet Triple Helix, can you please bring me some Frolic? They'll be searching you at airport security. They'll be like, "What the hell have you got dog food for?" You're like, "Dude, it's a souvenir for a friend." I want to see that, man. If you're Florencio, the point of the game is to pop up out of the sewer, grab some of that poop that you're constantly swimming in, smear it on your opponent's face like war paint, and then laugh your ass off while they cry themselves to sleep, uninstall the game, break their keyboard, smash their monitor, and never play again. That is Florencio's entire goal. It's not to win in your traditional way. These Chad Rays come in, they have a poke around, they don't really do anything. He's like trying to whisper in people's ears like shit, and it's like, you know we can tell you're whispering in our ear, right? Like he's like, "Nah, I'm a random person who was just watching the game, and oh yeah, like I'm definitely not the guy that was in the ladder game against you just then, pretending I'm a bystander. Nah."
Imagine if you didn't have soundproofing at a tournament and there was just someone in a crowd that was just like, "Hey, you're losing!" And you're like, "Oh shit, man, I didn't really know." Thanks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because people that like tell you they're losing, they're not. There's like a satisfaction from winning, and these people are like, "It's not enough. It's not enough.
I have to let them know.
I need to tell them. You're losing the game." Like, the fuck is wrong with these guys? New Frolics. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you very much. Just had a little filler clip there playing for a sec. While we get this final lobby underway, the final good lucks, have funs, and awesomenesses are going. That was a fun game, for sure, says Epic. I couldn't channel my inner Maru, unfortunately. Disc says, yeah, that was actually very fun to play. Epic says, I can't play Lib Viking style. Shit's hard, man. Disc says, I almost did my inner classic and lost. Hey, Frosty Iceman, welcome to the Pigsty. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, friend. I really appreciate your support. Lib Viking is absurd to play. Yeah, Lib Viking is very hard to control. My man. My man. A lot of... Oh, I think Epic's micro has been pretty good. It's pretty hard to micro... to win a fight when you just don't have the tools, Neil. And I think the positioning was poor from Epic. I criticized Epic a lot during that game for his positioning. I didn't really see any massive errors with his micro. Those fights are very, very awkward, and they're very hard, especially as the Terran to take. I think with the way everything was set up vision-wise, it was too easy for Disc to put his full focus on the fight. And I think if they've both got their full focus on the front, the Protoss has the advantage with how that was set up. Too much vision. I don't know if like Printf or any of the other high-level players, I don't know how much macro Printf's been playing, but or any of the other high-level players in chat, I don't know if they agree, but I feel like if you're both just chilling, looking at the front, open ground, there's no like tanks or libs to hide behind or turrets or planetaries. It's, yeah. Hashtag why not bang dudes? There's nothing wrong with banging dudes. Wouldn't be too many people on this earth if people didn't bang. Banging dudes? I actually refer to all humans as dudes as well. Some people think dudes is like that means man or something. And I'm like, does it though? Dudes is such like I love that word, you know? I just don't think it should be bound up in anything other than dude just means a rad person. Now, dude bro, on the other hand, that's a different story. A dude bro, little bit, yeah. Up here in the top left, in the red, representing Psystorm Gaming, it's Epic. Down here, in the bottom right, in the blue, representing Psystorm as well, showed us a nice, firm showing in that last game. Let's see which version of the disc shows up. You're losing. I like that you guys are catching up with that clip. Nice. It's a good clip. Proxy barracks into gas. What variation is it, guys? I've done so many variations of this over the last like 4 or 5 months that I am very well up to date on exactly how these all play out. Now, Epic does some very aggressive follow-up sometimes. So we've got to keep our eye on him. Now, what we see here, of course, is Disc. He's like, cool, I'm walling off. He'll wall off there with a Cyber Core so that if a Reaper jumps in, it has to go either through this gap, which is kind of dangerous, it can get blocked, or come around to this side. So it can't escape through the mineral line. He's going to come in, goes up that ramp. He sees immediately, and does he still put the Nexus down? Most high-level players do, but he says no. Immediately swaps, goes for the Cyber Core before Nexus. I think he'll still expand, but I think he's just swapping the order of the core and the Nexus. So Reaper's on the way. The question is, where's the factory go? I think it's going to go at home. I wonder if he hides it in a corner, though. So yeah, he's gone for the Nexus. Pylon on the low ground. SCV sees that as well. Epic's thinking about proxying a factory. He's saying, oh, you're gonna build that there? Maybe proxy starport. Ooh. First Reaper's almost out. Does he go for a second? No, he's gonna float it all the way home. Looks like a macro follow-up. Looks like. I think it's going to be a CC. I think he's going to pull a few workers off gas. Reaper comes in. Reaper already taken out a couple of probes, going for those gas ones. Yeah, it's a dangerous mining location on the gas. He's forced to pull like 7 probes after it. That's Classic's move. We saw Classic do that when his brain was breaking against Maru towards the end of that series yesterday. Where he was like, I'm going to get you. Why are there 2 SCVs here? That probe is like seeing 2 SCVs on the map. It's like, what are you doing? You know what? That could actually scare Disc even more. Reaper gets his 2nd kill. Oh, it didn't get the 3rd before, did it? Because of the probe pull. Good micro by Disc, really. Could have been a lot worse. Straight into Twilight. Oh my god, you ambitious boy. Has he made the same read we have? CC, but 3 on each gas. Straight into Starport. It's going to be a Raven. Ooh, the Adept takes down the Reaper. He can now go do a little counter pressure. Oh my god, and he went reactor there. This follow-up is so greedy from Epic. It was so based off him scouting this Nexus, where he said, I don't need any units. Whereas if he saw no delayed Nexus, he'd be doing a completely different variation. But that bunker's not going to get up in time, I don't think. Yeah, this is going to be trouble. Just got to build Hellions. Now, the Stalker stayed at home. And there's a shield battery. These are things that Disc did not need to do. And that is a little frustrating that he's kind of gone and invested in that. Oh man, this Adept's having a party though. This Adept's very happy. Shade out, shade out, shade out. Don't recall, just shade. A little bit slow in the shade. Yeah, he could have shaded out of there if he shaded quickly. Slow reaction from Disc there. He's going for Blink. I feel like Blink against any proxy build is very dangerous because it's very hard for you to confirm if they're going to be going for a Banshee or not, and you don't have detection for a long time off this opening. However, in this particular scenario, I feel like Disc has managed to lock down the options, but there is a Hellion drop. He knows it though. He should be well prepared for this. The problem is, with no wall off and with Blink not quite ready, and he's got to be warping in Stalkers like... Does he not realize he saw a Hellion? Okay, he's relying on warp. 3 Stalkers at the front. Yeah, and he's like, he knows he needs to get on top of this real fast, so he's trying to warp in here as much as he can. Okay, yeah. And the medevac... Okay, it's been spotted. Yeah, good defense. Okay. I thought Disc was underestimating it for a second there, but turns out to do very well. Remembers his pylon behind it. Easy to forget that in the midst of making sure Hellions don't ruin your economy. Economy advantage goes to Epic right now, but Epic only now starting his 2nd and 3rd barracks against someone whose Robo's finished, whose Blink is almost finished. So eco advantage goes to Epic, being trailing only by a few workers. It's a very small eco advantage, but it is there. Tech advantage goes to Disc. Now, there is still utility out on the map. Did that medevac go down? Oh, he sent it home. I would have loved that medevac to fake around the top or something, pull the Stalkers up, and then just run the Hellions in the front. Instead, he's just going to run them in on their own. It'll work. No. Oh, he blocks it. Oh, damn. Damn. Disc is in control of this now. I feel like Epic lost a lot of confidence in that last match. I feel like he felt like, how the hell do I do this? I'm not Maru. I can't control the late game. And I don't know. This game doesn't look as clean for him. Still not bad. His economy advantage is actually building. Even workers is really good for Terran economically, guys. But third base is on the way. Obviously earlier. We've got this Colossus Bay. Twilight's already done. Forge is on the way. All these beautiful little bits of tech coming down. There's a Raven out, which is going to... If it hunts down an Observer or two, that's going to be awesome. But what do we got? Stims on the way, but it's only just started. Shields hasn't even started yet. Ooh, nice little pervert mode. Spotted the Raven. And now he's just going to have a little peek. He's going to go in. Just being real careful. He'd love to see a command center. But for now, I think he's just... Yeah, he might just... I would actually sit probably a little bit further back so you can still see him move out, but it's like much harder for the opponent's Marines to reach you. Because if you're like here, they kind of have to go down and around to get you. But small things. Tiny details. This probe's like... Puts down 2 shield batteries. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like if you see a push coming out, sure, but otherwise, no. Oh, that's so bad for Epic. Being a greedy boy. Tries to build a third on location. Oh, and now these Stalkers are just buying time. He wants to be pushing across the map right now. Even though his stim and shields aren't done, he'd love to be exerting some pressure on the Protoss. As it is, Protoss in control. Disc feels really good after snapping that. Starts to probe up all 3 Nexi at once. He's going up to 5, 6 gateways. His +1's on the way. His charge is almost done. Colossus range is almost there. He just snapped the Raven. He snapped the Raven on the front. Picks off a few units as well. Oh my gosh. Picks off a few Marines, a Marauder, a Raven. A fantastic usage of these Blink Stalkers by Disc. And it feels like Epic here. Yeah, he's kind of walking his units away. He's not really got anything on the other side of the map. He's trying to push across, but he's bleeding units out here. These Stalkers are going to continue to bleed this dry. And with the Raven gone, I think the Colossi can come forward and they can engage this. Just at the moment you have 2 Colossi together, jump on this with a Guardian Shield. Or maybe wait for a few charge lots. Charge is done. 1 round of charge lots +1 attack finishing would absolutely do this. I like posturing forward. Yeah, force the siege up. Is this the right fight? Is this the right fight? Nice Stalker blink, but the splash damage. Oh no, Disc overextending there. I was like, yeah, go out there. Because I just wanted him to force the siege and pull back. And if he didn't siege, then stand and fight. But I think he took a bit of an awkward fight. The Zealots should clean this up, especially with these 2 shield batteries. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. If he can get both Colossi, that's game ending. Potentially game ending. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. He gets it. Hot drops on top of it. I could just watch there. I couldn't even commentate that. I just had to watch. I just had to watch. My man. My man. Damn. Epic, though, creating way more threat than he should have been able to. Disc here floating tons of minerals. And, oh my god, he takes out that tank. Probes being pulled to the front. Does not want to be fighting with his probes, but he has to. Oh, this is so awkward. Epic's micro is on point, dude. Dude, he just killed like 20 probes. Disc's not out of this yet, but this was looking so good for him earlier. Oh, I really feel like he screwed the pooch by kind of half-assedly engaging on that push. I feel like he needed to force it to siege up earlier or to wait for 1 more round of Zealots. Either way would have done the trick, but Epic here, just such a decisive player. Pushes forward, commits, doesn't really second guess himself. He's like, yeah, I lost my Raven, I lost a Marauder, I lost 3 Marines, I lost another 2 Marines. Let's just commit anyway. I'm not afraid. And you know what? If you've got the mechanics to back up that lack of fear, it's kind of how Maru plays, right? It looks like sometimes he doesn't even care what his opponent's doing. He just does his thing. That Observer's like, oh, wait a second, you're rotating somewhere. And he anticipates the drop, rotating to the north. You don't want to dive with that, Epic. You do not want to dive with that. That does not make any sense. You just spotted the army coming up here. Oh, very ambitious. Oh, it's working out. It's working out. I guess he feels that momentum. It's enough. It's enough. All right. Yeah. Never mind, guys. Because Disc kind of stopped halfway between the bases, wasn't in range of the blink, it looks like that should work. It's going to take out the Nexus on the south. There's no Stalkers to punish the red hit point medevac hot pickup, and Epic is got this game in the bag. Damn. A seesaw series, back and forwards. Disc looked spectacular in the early game of this map. Oh, he's going to try and hunt that down. Just gets the boost off cooldown. I wouldn't mind just dropping here and jumping on it, to be honest. But he's going to pull all the way back. Make sure he unloads everything. Really gets his army to safety. That's just so much Marine Marauder. Like, this little Protoss army, just because, like, I've got to do something, but that army can't do shit. He even pulled Drilly Boys, thinking he was going to be able to crush this army and win the game. As Epic, I'd actually start wrapping units around the left-hand side right now. He barely missed seeing the Observer. Drilly Boys in the front line. Vikings overhead. Guardian Shield doing some nice work, but that's just too much Tyrann, man. Tyrannus Maximus. Welcome to the Tyrannosaurus period of Caprulu history. The tyrannical Terran. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex something Terran. Tearing it up. Sorry guys, I'll restrain my inner Rifkin in future. I'll try to reel it in. GG, Epic wins that game in spectacular fashion and displays once again epic APM. 397. He was at 450 in a TVZ earlier. I don't know what he's doing with it. I think he has like a third arm sticking out of his chest and he's like using that on his keyboard as well or something, dude. GG's. Interesting how that one kind of turned out. Epic makes it through to Challenger, guys. Big congrats. That was a fascinating little series. I do think that, yeah, it was interesting how all his upgrades were lining up. And I think Disc was so occupied microing his Stalkers, he didn't quite tally up his units at home. And there was this, yeah, the way he engaged, his Stalkers, when they blinked forward, were in like a maximum clump. And all three tanks kind of just turned, and the Stalkers were shooting a tank. And they got it with their second volley, but they'd already taken a full tank volley, and like half the Stalkers were dead at that point. Because it was funny, like the Stalkers blinked forward in a clump, the tanks all just turned and were like, and you saw like 4 Stalkers die, and then another 4 Stalkers die to the next 2 tank shots, and you're like, oh, this is getting quite expensive. And you need those gateway units to support the Colossi. So yeah, a bit unfortunate there. Probably should have gone out, I think slowed down the push and then pulled back and warped in one more round of Zealots. I really feel it's dangerous to do that against top-level Terrans if they have a Raven, because they'll shut down your Colossus and just kind of stim and come around the force fields and get on you. But I think he definitely could have moved out and engaged that just a little bit earlier. So GG, well played by Epic. Unfortunate turn of events for Disc, who will have another go in the lower bracket.